gotta run down to the post office box. So I figured why the little rambling or topic is on my mind and fresh, I go ahead and just speak it out instead of, writing it down. We're gonna go ahead and freestyle it. So I am right now in the process of having to one catch up my Form 1120s for the last 2 years because I am an S corporation, which after talking to a tax professional, yes, I said tax professional, I actually did reach out for some help, and I have decided that I am going to file for extension to get my taxes filed so I can see if she is willing to go ahead and be the one to assist me in that area. So that's that part. As far as I mentioned in the last little video that it's almost at the 2-year mark, so I have to do my Be Now report for the state. Now, in my head, these last 2 years, I've had to do my business plan, get that all written down. I've had to think about the services I'm going to provide. I've had to think about the prices. I've had to, worry about the locations and things like that. So, right now, most of my learning curve is, I feel, completed. With these next 2 years, it's a matter of me putting everything into play and to hopefully start to generate profit. Now, as of right now today, once I go ahead and get everything situated for these next 2 years, if things don't turn out the way that I planned, I'm just gonna call it quits. So for me, the first 2 years is a learning curve, getting to understand what I have to do, why I got to do it, different resources and different things that I have to have, from return policies, privacy policies, chemical services, release forms, like formulation. It's just a whole bunch of little different things on top of me changing the route of how I want to do things, but still staying within the realm of what I originally wanted to target. So that's a little bit about that. Now, as far as my location goes, I am not big on having everybody in my house. Like, I'm just not. So when I do get ready to implement things, I would rather go to where the client is, which is why I am hesitant about, or why it's not even hesitant, is exactly why I haven't started performance services. That on top of when it comes to knowing what I have to do legally and track legally and how I can maneuver legally, I wanted to make sure I don't want to get myself into a big ass, into a situation to where I'm getting audited and then I owe this, or I'm somehow in trouble with some shit I don't understand. I'm not on that. I ain't on that. So with me choosing to wait to perform services, A, for a number of reasons, me being able to understand the numbers that I have to track, and B, I don't like people in my house, which brings me to, when you start up a business, your credit has to be reasonable in order to get, unless you are already in a good financial place to where you got the money saved on hand and you're able to just use the money that you have to open up your business and to buy or get a location and things like that, then you have to have good credit in order to go get a loan, a traditional loan or a small business loan, which means you understand why I haven't gotten a location, an actual salon yet, right? All right, so within these next 2 years, that's a goal of mine, to be able to make sure my credit is 100% good, to find a location. But then also, another thought that has been entering my mind that I'm kind of debating about, that I have to kind of tune in and figure out within these next 2 years, is if I want to continue to like just fund it myself via employment and starting to do services, and with the little couple items that I'm trying to get up to sell, versus getting a loan and getting into more debt. Prices of everything is going up. The economy, I mean, it's not too bad, but then it's the debt, it's the interest rates that I am concerned about. It's the not knowing if my business is going to take off successfully or not within the first 2 years to even make it beneficial for me to have had created more debt for myself. So within these next 2 years, it's, well, not even next 2 years. It's while I'm working on building my credit and reestablishing my credit. It's a matter of me still investing in myself, and then trying to just figure out and navigate through if adding more debt right now is going to be more beneficial in the long run or not. There's no getting around. You have to utilize credit when you have a business. It just is what it is. I'm pretty sure at one point, if I haven't deleted it, then I mentioned that you're going to have credit, whether you need it for supplies or inventory. There's, again, if you are in a good enough financial position to where you're able to fund it all yourself, it's a better route to go. And it's possible for me right now. I know it's possible, because even though it's literally, it takes time in order for me to get this or to get that, but so far the only debt that I've inquired is just the reoccurring bills. You know what I mean? Like the money that is costing me to keep the website up is the most that I have. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I have expenses as far as buying the supplies or buying the things that I'm using to practice with and to get results and things with, but it's not interest being incurred. It's not thousands of dollars that I'm responsible for, especially paying back on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, and not knowing if my business is going to be able to afford me paying it back in a timely fashion as they're expecting. Right now, with it being just me buying the stuff and me investing in me from work, then it's a longer, slower process, but for right now, for me, it's working. It's working because on top of the bills that I already have now, for me to add an additional bill right now doesn't make too much sense. Now, by the time I have my credit under control, it might, because then I might be in a better position to utilize that credit to, pay off this, or, utilize a credit card to help build credit to pay off the loan or things like that, which is optional and things that I have to consider how I want to maneuver. So that is basically, in a nutshell, the start up of the last 2 years. Now there's more into it than that, because it's a lot of little things that I've had to do and learn and understand apps and things like that. So it's more than that, but overall snapshot of the last 2 years and where I'm at yet now and what I need to be focusing on approving to get to the ending destination is that it's just getting help with these forms, going ahead and switching back over to just being a sole member for right now, working on my credit so I could get an actual physical brick location, and just getting more product to put in the store to see if I can start to regenerate. It's a profit. And then I have myself these next 2 years to kind of move it forward and implement the things that I know that can help me get to where I need to be. So, yeah, that's it so far. Oh, then I need to fix that, but I've been at home playing. Oh, but I did. Well, I'll just let y'all see the video. I'll probably post a video. Because my mannequin head, my Polo mannequin head had about, I want to say like 10 different colors in it. So, I am trying to take it all back to one color. I'm going to see how it works. That's 12 minutes. Let me go ahead and quit mumbling. I'll be back. Probably on the spare of a moment. I feel like even though I ramble a lot and I have different topics, most of the time it's going to be free flowing, I think. Sometimes I'm going to actually have to make sure I write my thoughts down, which I do anyway, depending on what I'm working on, which app or which area I'm working on. So, wish me luck. I'll be back.